And it looks like we are quickly live on Facebook. I'm just switching over right quick to get our program started. I want to thank everyone for joining us. We always get these notifications on our screen, so I'm playing technical part and host. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm so excited for our conversation that we're going to have about Hispanic recognition. We're recognizing Hispanic heritage, culture. I'm going to learn a little history. I have wonderful guests joining me this evening. It's going to be my pleasure to mainly listen in. I'm going to serve and pop in when I need to, but they know everything. I know nothing about this. So I'm looking forward to learning as usual. It's always the Novi Public Library's opportunity and pleasure to embrace and include and inspire and inform. So we are working to do all of the above. I have some knowledgeable guests. I mentioned Liliana Ospina. You have your
Oh,
own, did I say it right?
it's a news platform for the Hispanic community
Yes,
in
it is.
Michigan. It's an online platform, bilingual.
Absolutely. You can tell us a little bit more about that, and you're going to also present some history about the Hispanic
Yeah.
heritage culture. So I let you get us started, and then we'll gradually talk to some of our other guests as well.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome or bienvenidos a el mes de la herencia hispana, Hispanic Heritage Month. I have here with me, there are very important people in the Hispanic community in Detroit and in other parts. We have Elton Monroy, sorry. If you go to Mexican town, the best murals or the most beautiful murals in Mexican town are from Elton Monroy. We have Carilu, who is working on a very beautiful project with Elton to promote theater among Hispanic children and non-Hispanic children. We have Olga, who is a community connector. She's the person that helps a lot of community in Metro Detroit, especially people that don't know to speak English. She's the person that guides them. And of course, myself and Liliana Ospina, I'm a Colombian immigrant. I'm the creator of Latinos in Michigan TV, which is a bilingual news platform for the Hispanic and Latino or Latinx community in Michigan. And we focus on videos, sharing stories of the wonderful Hispanics that are making positive changes in Michigan. And I'm also the creator of the Talentos Latinos Award, a yearly event that recognizes the contributions of Hispanics or Latinos or Latinx in Michigan. So I'm very happy to talk about the Hispanic Heritage Month. Hispanics are entrepreneurs by nature. They are very creative and they are making great contributions to Michigan and to the country. So let's start with some history. Um, each year, Americans observe the National Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15 to October 15 by celebrating the histories, the cultures, and the contributions of people whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America. The observation began in 1968 as a Hispanic Heritage Week under President Lyndon Johnson and was expanded by President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to cover a 30-day period, starting on September 15 and ending on October 15. It was enacted as law in August 17, 1988, on the approval of a public law 100-402. The day of September 15 is very significant because it's the anniversary of the independence of Latin American countries like Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua. And another important thing is September 16th, which is the Independence Day of Mexico. As you all know, or in case you don't know, the majority of Hispanic immigrants in this country are Mexicans, and Mexico is a wonderful country with a huge and diverse culture and obviously contributions to America, to the United States, and to the rest of Latin America. Mexico, I love the culture and I love their people. Another country that also has an Independence Day is Chile. Chile will have their Independence Day on September 18. Also, during the month of October, we celebrate Columbus Day or El Día de la Raza, which is on October 12th. And so all those days are in a 30-day period, and that's why it's important to talk about that. Hispanic Heritage Month is a celebration of our history, of our culture, and all our Latinx or Hispanic communities here in the state, in the United States. And I'm very happy to be part of this, and I'm very proud to be a Hispanic immigrant. And one thing I can tell you is that after the census, they informed that here in Michigan there are 564,422 Hispanics in Michigan, and from 2010 to 2020 there was an increase of 4.4% in the population. So I think that's pretty much the introduction to this celebration. And I want to give the introduction to Elton. Like I was saying, Elton Monroy Duray. I apologize to Elton. I made a mistake when I said the name, so I'm sorry. But if you want to know the Mexican barrio, Mexican town, and you want to see the most beautiful murals of Elton, of Mexican town, you'll see the murals of Elton Monroy. And the first time I met him was, I would say, 7 years ago, when he was making some murals in Grand Rapids. And one of the things that I always remember he mentioned is that he has like a commitment to work to promote through his paintings the transplants. He's very dedicated to send a message through his paintings. And one of the things that I always remember is that the transplants are very important, save lives, but unfortunately in our community is not something very, it's not very like high percentage. But I don't want to get out of the subject. Again, like I was saying, if you want to go to Mexican town and see the most beautiful murals that represent the Hispanic community, the Mexican culture, you will see the murals of Elton Monroy Duran. Elton, thank you.
Thank you very much, Liliana. It's actually, it is an honor that you're giving me the first position to start talking after. But like we always say, first the ladies, first the ladies. So I think I'm gonna let someone else.
Okay, we can come back to you, Elton. I don't
Yeah.
mind at all. We're going because I know also, Liliana, we have some. You've been talking about your culture, and we have a couple of video clips that we do want to get in, and we can throw a couple of those in right now because tango. I want you to talk about that. That's a very important in the Hispanic heritage culture. So we're going to talk about that, and then I'm going to play the clip. So if you want to introduce it.
Yeah. Well, tango is a partner dance, and it's a social dance that was created or originated in the 1800s, exactly in 1880, along the Rio de la Plata, or River of Silver in English. And this river is a natural border between Argentina and Uruguay. And here in Michigan, there is a person, his name is Daniel Moreno. He's a tango maestro, and he's a national champion of tango. And we're gonna show a clip of him dancing with his partner. Her name is Ashley Kalchidan, and I think the tango dance is a beautiful dance. And here we go.
Absolutely. Yeah, Daniel was scheduled to be with us, but he had a class that he had to teach tonight. But we are allowed to share his video, and we're going to do that right now. So hit the button. And if you don't hear it, then let me know right away, please.
I don't hear. I think it's
I cannot hear either.
I don't hear the music, Gail.
Are we not hearing the music?
No.
And I will try it again. Got to hear the music, don't we?
Yeah.
Maybe because you are wearing your headphones.
I always do, but let's try it again. This is like live television, huh? Everyone's good with me.
Yeah. Let's see.
Gonna give it another try. And it's funny too, because when we practiced this, it was perfect. So let me know right away if you hear the music.
No,
All right, then I'll
I
pause
don't
and fix
hear.
that, and we're going to continue talking, and then I'll come back to that video, okay? I
Okay.
want us to move on, and we're going to talk to Olga, because she's going to be our next guest anyway. So I'm excited to hear about her, because I know she's a huge community leader. Let me stop sharing my screen,
Yeah.
and we'll come back and we'll try back the video shortly. But Olga's a big community leader, and she was recognized. Liliana, tell us a little bit about Olga and what she's talking about, the language barrier.
Yeah. Olga is a person that has over 20 years of experience helping the Hispanic community in Detroit. If somebody needs help getting resources, let's say they need, they are having issues with their mortgage and they don't know how to get help, or they need a lawyer, or they need a translation, Olga is the person that is there to connect. And she knows a lot of people in the community. And actually last year, Latinos in Michigan gave her the Community Leader Award. People voted for her, and people were sharing the stories that, like, one person was saying that she helped him save his house. He was about to lose his house through an auction, and she helped him by the filling the paperwork, and she was able to help him save his house. So things like that, for people that don't know how to speak English, she's the person that connects, and she has the resources and obviously the charisma. She's a very personal lady, and a very nice friend. So I'm so happy to have her here. I just get a little choke talking about her because I really appreciate her.
Yeah. Thank you, Gail, for the opportunity, and thank you, Liliana, for the introduction. Like you said, my name is Olga Rodriguez. I have been working for over 20 years in the Southwest Detroit community, helping people with different issues that they have, especially when it comes to language. But throughout my main focus throughout my career has been helping the Hispanic population to overcome the language and knowledge gap. As a business owner and entrepreneur, I understand the language and knowledge gap that has been around throughout generations, especially with us, the Hispanics. Some people that they don't speak English, they have their daughters or sons translating for them. I've been here in this community helping them, to break that barrier. And I'm always willing to help others to be able to reach their goals as well. Whatever their goal, people always reach out to me, whatever they need, like Liliana said, like if it's for mortgage foreclosure, home ownership, financial coaching, translation services, I'm here to help. And
Olga, how big
maybe
of a challenge has that
business
been?
consulting as well.
I'm sorry. Olga, how big of a challenge has that been for the Hispanic community? I know you're a big help in that.
The challenges?
Sure.
Yeah.
How big of a challenge has that? I can imagine it being overwhelming.
Yes, it has been overwhelming. Like Liliana was telling the story about, some people came to me, at the last minute, like one day before the auction of their house. And I had some connections with the state of Michigan. So I was able to, put a hold on their sheriff sale, and was able to help them, to fill out the application so they can get some financial aid to be able to save their homes. And happily, they were able to save their homes. I did that for 5 years, as well as the financial coaching, helping people to improve their credit score, especially with us, the Hispanic. Like, we don't give importance to have credit. And so I've been trying to make people understand that credit is really important in this, in the United States, especially right now. Like, for everything you need credit, even if they're gonna rent an apartment or buy a house, and they go by the credit. So Liliana and I have been doing some financial videos, trying to educate the Hispanic population about the importance of not only having credit, but also, being able to manage their finances. Like, we're trying to empower the Hispanic, financially educating them. But that's through in-depth collaboration, like sometimes, like if people come to me and there's something that I don't know how to help, I will refer them, of course, to people that can. But I provide referrals and resources to individuals in order for them to be able to access funding, training, accounting. Like right now for businesses, like I said, I've been doing business consulting lately. So for the business owners, is getting business licenses, certification, building permits, and other resources, like I said, whatever they need. It is really important to acknowledge and celebrate the contributions that the immigrant population has made to this great country. The Hispanics are the largest and most diverse minority population in the United States. We have a tremendous pride in our traditions, values, and diverse heritage. We are determined, talented, and hardworking, and will continue to play an important role in the United States for generations to come. And I'm just gonna say this, but I'm proud to be a Hispanic.
Absolutely.
I'm Mexican, but I'm proud to be.
For sure. I love that. Nothing like being proud of who you are, huh?
Right.
I believe that. And I know I appreciate what you've said. We're going to, please feel free to jump in anytime. I don't want Carrie Lou to just sit there and we're wondering, well, what is she going to say? Because we're going to segue right into you a little bit, if that's okay. Because as Olga was talking about the contributions and the resources that she's provided for, I would guess it would be mainly adults. You're working in another area. First of all, you're a performing artist, very popular to many and talented, but you're working on a huge project, and I want you to talk about that a little bit, and then maybe your video will work better than my video because my video wasn't working. We're going to come back to mine, but welcome, Carrie Lou.
Thank you so much. Yes, I am a performing artist, and I'm also a teaching artist, and I can relate a lot with what Olga was saying. I also work with the parents of the kids that I teach, and I constantly see this gap, and I constantly see this barrier with the language, which is something, it's one of the things we're trying to support with our project La Carpa Theater. I am very fortunate to be able to do this project with my friend Elton. That's here.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the project aims to facilitate an opportunity for children to embrace who they are, embrace their story, and by doing so, empowering their voice and helping them find a voice. It's not only for the kids, the project also aims to make a bridge with communities. As we own our own story, we want to invite others to own their story. I think by owning the story, we are allowing others to really see us, because the problem when we don't do so, we let others tell our story for us, and that's a huge problem. And it's something that I have seen, unfortunately, with the communities that I work, where I see the children are confused, where they don't know how American they are, Do I speak Spanish? If knowing is knowing Spanish something wrong? And then I see how they lose the language little by little, which is really, really, for me, it's so sad.
I can believe that. It even touched me, Carolyn, when you said many of the children are ashamed of their language. So that's so unfortunate.
The problem with what you're saying is that, yes, okay, let's try to be very American. So I'm going to forget about I'm not going to learn anything about my culture, my heritage, which is what we're talking about. I'm not going to know anything. I'm just going to be as American as I can. The danger in this is that you will never erase who you are. Those roots are in you. And if you don't embrace them, then there's no power. Then you become invisible as you try to follow these steps, you know, of other identities. So that's what we want with this project. We want the kids to embrace the culture, to embrace who they are, whatever they love, you know, whatever they are, whatever, however, like we were saying, there's so many diversity in the Hispanic culture. To embrace that, to welcome people to know them, and to open a door so people also share their story. And why don't we show the video so they learn a
Yes,
little more
Elton's a
about
part of
that?
this video as well. He's a major role in it. So the both of you are in it. Let's watch the video.
Okay.
My name is Carolina Alarcón Forshi. I'm a performing artist. Mucho gusto, Elton.
Mucho gusto. My name is Elton Monroy Duran. I am a visual artist and a muralist.
Elton and I were invited to work with UMS to direct a project that was inspired by the Chicano band Las Cafeteras. They hired me to do the theater aspect of the project, and they hired Elton to do the visual art. Elton guided the kids to paint this mural, and it was a mural that it was composed by different wooden boxes, and then you could take them apart, and they were not only props but instruments that we both guided kids into creating something that came from them.
We were working for another organization, so they hired us. But then we were thinking, like, maybe we can do this with more freedom and with more resources. We're putting together our own project, and we're going to share this project with the community, actually.
I started working as a teaching artist 9 years ago. I started learning a lot about the experience of kids that are immigrants or that come from immigrants. And I noticed that there wasn't a lot of space for them to have a voice. And I started noticing the confusion they had regarding who they were, who they are. When you don't know about your own roots and where you come from, how can you embrace it?
We just don't know enough about our ethnicities, our cultures, and so involving that as part of a fun exercise is one of the best ways to learn.
Yo estoy trabajando con un grupo de jóvenes con el baile folclórico. Aquí cuando están todos juntos, están muy contentos, se hablan en inglés y en español, o en las escuelas o fuera del estudio. Es como que tienen vergüenza de hablar el español.
They try to belong so hard that they leave all of this behind because they think it makes them not as good or less bad. I started to think, what can we do so this doesn't happen? How do we show these kids that what they bring with them is beautiful no matter where they come from? How can we facilitate an opportunity for them to grow and to embrace who they are?
My accent is passion, my accent is vida, my accent is me. My accent is wherever I go.
La Carpa Theater is a project that mixes theater and visual art. The project is going to involve children between the ages of 11 and 15 from the Southwest Detroit community. They will be writing a play that talks about where they come from, who they are, and the visual art aspect of it. The scenery will also be made by them.
It is based on this concept of La Carpa moving theater in Mexico. These type of theaters were moving from communities to communities or different locations. The idea is to replicate this concept here in South Detroit community, to bring these performing pieces of art created here with children from this community into other communities around Detroit. In South Detroit community, we have the need of long-lasting projects like this because the projects that we manage usually through non-profit organizations, they have like a very defined frame of time, and sometimes the children cannot explore more than that.
Exposing our children to the power of art and music and culture is one of the things that's fundamental to an international baccalaureate education and experience. When our children get to be exposed to people give and give back, they learn the lessons that they must do the same as they grow older.
Esta última vez cuando estábamos en Scarlett, muchos de los niños no eran latinos, pero sintieron una gran conexión con la música de mariachi y ellos expresaban que es una música que les generaba como alegría. Se sintieron tan orgullosos y tan identificados que en alguna ocasión vinieron los papás a una junta y los traían para que vieran el mural y les decían, yo pinté esta parte de aquí. En realidad es una oportunidad para que los niños generen seguridad incluso en lo que hacen.
The impact on the children, I think, is going to be tremendous. Giving them something that they're just not being provided regularly to the schools.
Creating this way of communication to share and to receive information between communities is something very positive, and is going to be possible through La Carpa Theater.
Un proyecto como La Carpa nos da recuerdos a los papás, a los abuelos, de lo que teníamos antes y hasta nos comienza a dar más orgullo.
Canta y no llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones.
We want you to help us make this dream come true. This is going to be something that benefits the children of Southwest Detroit. It's going to benefit the whole community.
It will have a very positive impact, being a tool that creates empathy among other communities with different cultural backgrounds. Through the Carpa Theater, we're going to be able to bring and educate other communities about our cultural background. We're planning to bring the theater to other communities, and for that, we need, of course, some funding.
$1, $5. For every dollar you give us, we're going to receive another dollar through the crowdfunding. So if you give us $5, it's actually $10.
We have been chosen by the Knight Foundation to receive some support, but in order to have access to that support, we need to match it. We need to raise the same amount of funding. So we're asking you to support this project and give us the opportunity to achieve our goal. Right?
Let's make it happen.
My name is Ray Lozano. Mucho gusto. Nice to meet you.
Gloria Rocha, nice to meet you. Mucho gusto.
My name is Elton Monroy Duran.
Galilu Alarcon Forshi,
Mucho gusto.
nice to meet you.
Beautiful.
Fantastic video. That was great. I love the project and the mission. And I also know when we talked about it, you said there were be floating projects that will set, because many of our listeners are from Novi, it's the Novi Public Library, but you will have moving components later on. How does it work? Tell me what's going to happen.
Well, like Elton said, this is in the style of the Mexican carpas. So what this means is we bring the theater to the communities. So it's like a circus pops up, you know, a big circus with performers and costumes and all these things. And it is very comedic. And what else, Elton? What is it? What's the essence of that?
Elton, you surrendered your time. You said all the ladies go first. I think it's your turn now.
That's my turn. Yeah. So for people to understand, carpa means a tent, you know, like a circus. When a circus pops up, they like put up the tent, and then you have the circus inside. So this is something similar. It's like a pop-up theater, you know. It's like we bring a little tent, we pop up the tent, and then we play. So that instead of people going to the theater, we bring the theater to people, right? So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to put together a play. Actually, the play will be kind of like, you know, these children dressing up like famous characters from Mexico, and then the idea is like they little by little, like while they're playing, they're going to be taking off the costume, and at the end we're gonna be able to know the child, and then the child's going to introduce himself, and that's why we were saying mucho gusto, nice to meet you, because what we want is, you know, we want people to connect to the Latino communities and to Latino history through this you know, movie theaters place.
So we will be going to communities in the Metro Detroit area to different communities. That's what we aim, to go everywhere with the project, with the show.
Very good. It's a good educational tool. Have people right there in your face to understand and learn. As they learn and embrace who they are, it allows other people to understand and embrace and love each other. But
Exactly,
Elton,
and
I want,
who they are too.
absolutely, so very important. Elton, I want us to talk about you. I want you to talk about you because we've been talking about you. You're a muralist, phenomenal work. I've seen much of your work and it's fantastic. I know you also participated in Art Prize. Weren't you there?
Yes,
But your
the
background was totally something else.
well, um, first of all, I am a Mexican immigrant. I come from Mexico. I migrated to the United States, especially to Detroit, about 7 years ago. And one of the first events that I participated in was the Art Prize, this competition in Grand Rapids. And actually that's exactly where I started painting murals. So while I was at the Art Prize, the one the restaurant owner reached out to me and they asked me if I would like to decorate a restaurant. So I was like, sure, why not? So actually during that time, what I was doing at the Art Prizes, I was promoting organ donation through my art because something that I love doing. That's kind of like I think part of my purpose as an artist to spread out the word. And something that I learned that is very interesting is that is beyond the body. Like like these paintings of organ donation are not actually exactly to encourage people to donate, but to encourage people to reflect about the gift that we have, and being able to have a body that works and functions, and especially through these times, we recognize that health is very important, and actually is like the most important thing we have. And what the reflection was that we have a body so that we can love. Love is the most important thing, and recognizing that inside we are made out of the same things was very important to me. Like I was using my art in order to inspire people to reflect about their own existence. So
And
I was
love is
doing
universal, isn't that great?
exactly, yeah. When
Hmm.
we are talking about Hispanic heritage, we could be talking about African heritage and like immigrants, coming into
Hmm.
this country. And actually, that's something that I want to show you later, like a video that I have prepared, and
Absolutely.
I am telling it a little bit more, careful there. So, but yeah, I started painting murals in Grand Rapids, and then I carry on that idea into Detroit. So when I moved to Detroit, I live here in that Southwest Detroit. I've been living here for the last 6 years formally, and while I was here, I became an American citizen. And actually when I was being prepared for the like celebration and all that, and to receive the um, honor to be a citizen, I was learning about the history of this country, and I was very amazed that this country was actually created for immigrants. So
Mm.
this is our country, and it's still happening. So if you allow me, I would like to share the
Before
video.
you say that, I want to tease you because one thing that's, I guess it's American or it's just me. When you say phone numbers, saying them in the right order. I'm saying that he knows what I'm talking about because
I
we're
know.
used to area code, the next three numbers and the last four, versus you say area code, the first four numbers and the last three, and
I
it
know.
throws people like me completely off. You know what I'm talking about, right?
It's because I am not from here originally, but I'm
I'm
learning.
just teasing you.
I know.
All right, but you want to play your video now? Then we'll come back.
Sure, let's do
Okay.
that.
Hmm.
I'm gonna share my screen first. Well, my name is Elton Monroy Duran, local artist from Detroit. This mural is part of an exhibition called Looking for America. I didn't know that the date for my citizenship was going to be like right when I'm painting the mural. I call this mural We the People, like the three first words of the Constitution. And the thing is that in order to become a citizen, I need to learn the basics of the Constitution and the basis of this nation. I was so amazed of how simple the concept for this country is, that this country was built for immigrants to come and to pursue their happiness. And this is the place where you can be free, you know, it's the place for liberty. And this is the place where you can find opportunities. Those are the basic fundamentals of the Constitution. And that's something that we need to recognize, and that's something that we need to protect. That's what I wanted to kind of show through this mural, right? What it means to be an American in Detroit. That's what I like doing. That's what I'm dreaming about doing. And I'm able to do it here. You know, I'm a muralist. I paint art representing communities, and I own my own company, and I'm living my dream. So what I painted here is Detroit in the background, people building the spirit of Detroit, and this idea of urban farming, that is a very special thing. And this mural is actually created to be interactive, so that you are looking at the different proportions and layers, and then you can see the kids, you know, and when you are standing in front of the kids, then you are the next element in the composition, right? Because the children, they are taking care of the plants, but you need to take care of them. If we think that they are the future and that they are the ones responsible for the future, we're wrong, because we're responsible for them. And that's our duty. That's what we need to do. We need to do what is in our hearts, and we need to support good ideas, and we need to understand the fundamentals of this country.
Love that. Very good. That was beautiful. Beautiful piece.
Yeah.
I must add that Elton does have the rights to those videos. So there we are. Very good.
Beautiful.
Very powerful. I love that. Told a very meaningful story. So I do appreciate that. Unmute yourself. We're still talking to you, Elton. I want to talk because we also were going to talk about, and it's coming up in a couple of days, Mexican Independence Day. And I think you were going to say a little bit about that for those of us that don't know much about it and the importance of it. So we can hear you again. Got it.
Sorry
Elton?
about that. I was trying to stop the other videos and the music in the
Oh,
background.
no problem.
So yes, as Liliana mentioned, you know, something very interesting, but you know, Independence Day in Mexico is a big celebration, is September 16th. But actually, you know, it's very curious that many other countries in South America celebrate independence, you know, like around the same time, because it's not only the independence of Mexico from Spain that we are celebrating, but the independence of the Americas, you know. And South America was actually fighting for independence at the same time. And after that, you know, they decided that they needed to create different countries. But actually, you know, Spain was actually the 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 kingdom that was ruling our existence during that time. So uh, now we're independent countries, and actually we have this opportunity, you know, that the opportunity to migrate and to look and go on and look for better opportunities and look for a better future for our families. And that doesn't mean that we're going to quit on our cultural background or our identities. And I think that that's important. When we, for example, when we migrate to other communities here in the United States, the first thing we do is like we try to reach out to people like us, you know, like people that understand our language, and people that can understand where we come from. And actually, that's something very natural, you know, like not only among Latinos or like Hispanics, but actually other people from other parts of the country. That's what they do when they come to United States. They try to create their own little communities within this large community, you know, that compose this beautiful country.
I know one thing we talked about, and I don't remember if it was a correction or just a conversation we were having about being called Latinx. Is that how am I saying?
Yeah.
Is that a grouping of together? Is that accurately stated? Let's all jump in and say a little bit about that so we can be
It's a new
correct.
term. I honestly, I consider myself Latina. There are Hispanics, but the new, like, I hear that it's an inclusive term, Latinx. I use it today for inclusion, but personally, I like to be called a Latina.
Who else can say
But
something
I
about that?
think that something that will be more accurate is like Spanish speakers, because that's something that makes us the same.
Yeah,
But we
you
come
are
from
correct.
different cultural backgrounds. We come from different cultures, like different countries, and we have different traditions. And that's something very interesting when we learn about our traditions. And something that we all share is the same language. That's actually maybe why they are referring to that term.
Are
I
there a
also
couple?
feel like I'm sorry, I also feel like there's communities that were not invited to this conversation of this new term. Communities that might not be even able to pronounce that I just think about family members that would be like, so you're assuming, so you're assuming that we identify like that, and I think that is the danger. I am for inclusiveness in the language, and I do like where the conversation is going. I find it difficult myself, like Liliana, to call myself Latinx. I also go to Latina or Mexicana.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Mexicana,
Yeah.
Latina. But then I think of like, how do I go with the parents of the kids that I work with and go like, well, now you refer to yourselves as Latinx, and go around like using that
Yeah.
term. That's just
It's so
For me, it's
funny.
hard,
Yeah,
Like
but
I can really relate because I mean, even African American, I think it was Negro, Black American, Afro American, African American. So, I get it. It's so amazing how we're still showing how we're all the same in some areas, that we're facing many of the same concerns, one to another, no matter what race or background we have, that we can all relate. So I do respect that. I understand where you're coming from. Was it Liliana who was speaking? Someone was saying something. Was that you, Ova? Someone.
nothing. I
We are.
just agree with Macarilu. I mean, it's everybody. No, many companies or institutions now are using that word because the inclusion and all that. But I am a Latina.
Mhm.
Carilu is a Latina. Elton is a Latino. And another thing that we haven't mentioned is like, okay, we come from Latin America, but we haven't mentioned Brazil. Brazil is in Latin America and they speak Portuguese. That's something that many people don't know. And it's important to remember that the Brazilian community obviously speak Portuguese, but they are in Latin America, and it's important that people remember that.
And in
Sure.
Belize, they mainly speak English.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Well, I think we mentioned one thing we have in common that we like. I think is universal. Is music. I'm still trying for this tango, which is our Argentinian video. So we're going to try this
Yeah.
one more time, and see if we can get that up and going. Let's see if we can.
Oh, so beautiful. Oh, wow. So beautiful.
I am so, I'm like, my technical director over here is actually my daughter, so she had to help me out with the technology. But wasn't that fantastic? Once again, if you missed the introduction in the beginning, it is Daniel
Yeah.
Moreno and Ashley, and we're going to have them live in the
Yeah.
Novi Library as soon as we resume to full capacity, because that is such a beautiful dance,
Oh,
beautiful
they are
music, isn't it?
excellent.
For
Yes.
sure. Love
It's
it.
I mean, as Latinos, we in my personal story, my grandma used to sing Carlos Gardel. Carlos Gardel was like a big icon, and he died in a airplane accident in Medellin, Colombia. But I grew up listening to his music, and my grandma, a Colombian lady, will dance alone and sing. And I never understood, but that's what I love tango. And there is a festival in a place called Manizales in Colombia where they have a tango festival. It's like an international tango festival, and people celebrate that beautiful music. Is beautiful. And talking about music, I was gonna talk about what I told you about the cumbia. The cumbia the cumbia is a rhythm and folk dance from Colombia, and it was created by African slaves, and it has evolved so much that countries like Mexico, Argentina, they had their own versions of cumbia, and anybody here, anybody of us, any of us Latinos here in right now had danced at some point cumbia because it's part of our culture. And that's was beautiful about being a Latino, that we have all those the influence from the African slave, the Spaniards, our indigenous people, and we had it in our blood, and that's what makes us so unique. But at the same time, we are different. It's such a beautiful thing being Hispanic, being
Absolutely.
Latino.
I love it. Another important thing, accept it or not, food is important in
Oh my
every
God.
culture. And we have a little video, and it's a beverage actually, so it's not what you would expect, oh, Mexican food or Latin American food, which is so. And I teased you, Liliana, I was going to have you show me what you made for dinner, but it ended up being chili. Because you said it was American chili, so that wasn't working for this program right now, was it?
No, actually, it was my Colombian American version of chili. My husband was complaining that I changed the recipe because I added rice. Because Hispanics always had their black beans and rice, and he was complaining that why did I change the recipe? But for us Latinos, we eat rice and beans. Is the most delicious thing. So he always complained that I changed, and he was just complaining, why did you add rice to the chili? I was like, that's my version with the
I want
beans.
to add something funny you say that, because I also make chili a lot, and I
Oh my
laugh
goodness.
but I put chocolate abuelita on mine,
Which
and
is?
it's so delicious, which is a very
Like
popular
cocoa.
Mexican chocolate.
Oh, that sounds great. We need to have the cooking feast the next time, but that has to
my
be in
God.
person so I can taste it all, huh? But
Yeah,
we do have a video.
I
I'm sorry, go on,
no,
Liliana.
I just want to say, like, I'm Colombian, and for me, well, Colombian food is a lot of soups, and my husband always complains that I'm always cooking soup. One day he said to me, please don't make a soup tonight, because he was so tired of soups. But I came here to Michigan, and I never tasted in Colombia, never really taste Mexican food. And for me, the most delicious soups, the most delicious
in the world. In the world.
tacos, yes, are the food from Mexican town. You go to any American restaurant or restaurants here that call themselves Mexican cuisine, but it's Americanized. They add cheese and crazy stuff to their tacos. But you go to Mexican town, and it's the basic is the tortilla, the meat, the cilantro, and the onions, and it's like you taste that, and it's like being in heaven.
Yes, it is.
And many people should go to
I can vouch for
Mexican
that. You're
town.
right.
Mexican town to taste the best Mexican traditional, the pozoles. I mean, I love Mexican food, and I love the Mexican community. Their culture is so rich, so beautiful.
At some point, I was doing these mural tours, right? So I stopped doing them because of the pandemic. Now, then I switched to virtual mural tours. But I think that we need to encourage someone to organize these a taco tour.
Mm, that's an idea. I will keep that in mind for sure.
The
I'm gonna play
tacos
this.
are
I'm gonna play this video. How about that? The one with the beverage. Liliana, you organized this. Tell us a little bit about who it is, and I will
Oh,
play the video.
okay. I was looking for a restaurant to do like something traditional, like a beverage, and also something from Mexico, and restaurant Los Altos, which is in 7056 and Bernal Highway. It's a restaurant owned by an immigrant. His name is Huicho Diaz, and his wife, Nancy Lopez. And they own a lot of taco trucks and different restaurants in Mexican town. So they put together a drink, and they show me something that I always sit with Olga when we go to Mexican town, to El Nacimiento. Well, what is that? I forgot the name right now. It has camarones. We always get las tostadas. That's it's such a beautiful thing, delicious. So they put together that, and I made that video for
Tostadas de
for you.
ceviche.
What do you say, Olga?
Exacto, with the guacamole.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds good. Well, let's watch this video clip. The beverage. Here we go.
Hello, welcome to Los Altos. My name is Maria. I'm one of the bartenders today. I will be showing you how to create La Rusa. It's a non-alcoholic beverage. It's very refreshing, ready for, to end the summer. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. We have a chilled glass. We're gonna add some ice. Well, before I do that, I'm gonna dip it into the chamoy. And then I'm gonna dip it into the tajin, which is like a Mexican chili, like this for the rim. Now we're gonna fill it up with ice. Like so. 6 ounces of fresh orange juice. And then grapefruit jarrito to top it off. I like to shake it on the bottom. Like so, like that. And then we're gonna top it off with some fresh fruit. This is some orange and pineapple. Top it off with the thing. And then to add a little bit more, I like to grab some of the little chilito and put it on the top. And this goes well with any type of meal, good with seafood, tacos, and there you have it, La Rusa.
I'm gonna show you a very typical Mexican appetizer that we serve here. It's ceviche. It's made with raw fish and raw citrus juices. You can find it right here. It's topped off with some avocado and some ketchup on the side, and it goes perfectly well with our beautiful rusa that we have on the side.
Delicious.
That looks amazing, doesn't it? Oh my goodness.
Yes.
And that's just a part.
Hungry.
That's just a little, like a little something, because there are so many restaurants in Mexican town, El Nacimiento, Mi Pueblo, La Terraza. I mean, so many delicious
The
restaurants.
Novi Library
If you
needs to
wanna-
take the Novi Library needs to take a bus trip to Mexico now, just so we can
Oh
buy
yeah,
all the foods.
and
I'm gonna
see
put
the
that on.
murals, and see
Hey, I'm gonna
and
have
see
you host us.
Elton's mural.
For sure. Well, as we come to an end to our program, I want to give each one of you maybe 30 to 60 seconds to just give a closing remark. It can be something that you want us to remember in terms of the month that we're celebrating, or just however you like to close out. You can reiterate what you presented for your program. Just let's start with Elton, since we.
So well, knowing about Latino heritage and Latino culture is we need a lot of time for that. So something that you can do, I can invite you to follow my social media. You can find me on Instagram as Elton Monroy, or Elton Monroy Duran on Facebook, and you'll see everything that I'm doing with the community all the time. So
Absolutely. Thank you. Olga?
thank you. Olga?
Well, yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. I learned I learned a lot today as well. Talking about the Hispanic Heritage Month. I hope we can continue celebrating, throughout the month of September. But like I said, I'm proud to be Hispanic, and I'm looking forward to continue doing this type of meetings.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carolou.
Well, if you want to keep following our project, La Carpa Theater, we have social media now, so it's very simple. Just look for La Carpa Theater, either on Instagram or Facebook, and follow us so you can see and support us, so you can see how we make this happen. But I would like to just say one final thing, and that is regarding the month we're celebrating, that at the core, we're all human, and it is from our humanity that we can truly see each other. And that's what I hope to accomplish with this project, that we can see each other, truly see each other.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Liliana, we'll close with you.
No, I just want everybody to know that this is this is a very special month. It starts tomorrow, September 15, and we're celebrating our diverse and rich Hispanic culture. We come from Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, and we're making Michigan and this country better. This country was founded or was created also for immigrants, and I think we're making it better. We are hard workers. We are people that are here to work and make everything better, like through projects like La Carpa, through the paintings of Elton Monroe, through the work that Olga does, and I'm very proud to being able to document that through videos through Latinos in Michigan TV for the last 5 years, and I'm also very proud that this is the 3rd year of the Talento Latinos Award. Elton won an award 2 years ago because of his activism and because of the work he does for the community. Last year, Olga won an award also. People voted. We did a poll and people choose her as a community leader, and she got an award. So we are here to make this country better, and we are proud to be Latinos.
I just want to mention, Carilu is a Krisge awardee. She won a Krisge Arts Award, and that's a big deal here in Detroit. And
we have award winners around the room, huh? I love that. Congratulations.
I pay Elton for all of these things.
Hey, absolutely, huh?
I pay you, Liliana, for all this.
Well, I'd like to thank all of you for joining me. It has been such a pleasure. I've learned a lot, and I always look forward to doing that. The Novi Public Library's mission is to inspire, inform, and include, and we love to include everyone. We all have a story to tell, and we will, as much as we can, provide a platform for each to do so. So thank you all for joining us on Facebook, on Zoom, and to my guest. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Feliz noche.
Gracias.
Gracias. Adiós.